Hey,
And there we are. Let
how are you doing,
let the
Stone
magic
Sour?
happen.
Good to see you and the other two people that are here.
Currently,
Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes and let some more people join us. Hope
uh-huh.
y'all had a good week. Long weekend because of the Memorial
Oh, that's
Day
right.
weekend. So hoping that, everybody's having a is going to do something nice and cool this weekend. Probably have a barbecue. Remember, if you was in a service and you lost somebody. I know a lot of people are going to watch war movies.
Are they?
Yeah, and on like Pluto, they're going to show a lot of different war movies like Platoon and Hamburger Hill and some other stuff.
Hamburger Hill with Clint Eastwood.
hmm So it's
BK.
going to be some different stuff going on. So, you know, There's that. Who is that?
He's on the air.
BK's on the air.
Burger
How are
King.
you?
And that's
And
still so sour.
yeah, how was your work week? It wasn't bad,
And
not
Spike is here.
hey Spike, not too eventful. So we like non-eventful times.
Hmm.
So it was a non-eventful week, not too busy, but just a steady pace going on. But it wasn't a bad week. So we got that going. Um, didn't really do much, outside of just going to work.
You know, it's a
Didn't really
good
do
war
much.
movie.
What?
Kelly's Heroes.
Oh, I don't know. I never saw that.
Yes, you did.
Oh, did I?
Clint Eastwood, Kelly's Heroes.
Is that the one where they was?
Donald Sutherland in the
Oh
in the
yeah,
tank.
that was a good one. Where they were robbing the gold.
Yeah, they're stealing the gold.
Stone Sour. Thank you. some some of your favorite war military movies. Yeah, like he said,
Kelly's Heroes
Kelly's Heroes.
with Don Rickles.
Um, what else have I seen? I saw what's the one with the guy that played Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan. I've
Uh
seen
huh.
Saving Private Ryan. That one was
Well, Forrest Gump's a war movie too because he was in Vietnam.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
here's one
Hey,
that's
how you doing, Reynard?
see if
A great
anybody
time sharing with you guys.
remembers
For fun.
this one. Um, what did you do in the war, Daddy?
That sounds familiar.
It,
Hey,
it's
Thor.
it's like a '60s comedy, and you might have seen it in reruns as a kid on UHF stations or something. What did you do in the war, Daddy? And it was weird.
I've seen a lot. Okay.
Oh, Brad is here,
Hey, Brad
all the
from
way from Australia.
Australia.
You know, or anything with Godzilla in it because he does fight the army.
I don't think that's like a
That's
stretch. That's like a stretch. What else? I guess you could count Rambo, like the first Rambo, maybe.
no,
But he got out of the thing.
the third one because it was during the war with Afghanistan and Russia. So war was actually going on at
Yes,
the time.
Josh,
Hey,
free.
Josh is here.
That's his favorite word, free. What war
Oh
comics?
God,
Oh God, I collect a lot. Um, Unknown Soldier,
yeah,
Star Spangled War,
yeah.
GI Combat,
GI Joe, the Golden
The
Age.
Golden Age GI
Hmm.
Joe, Sergeant Rock. I got a couple of issues of Black
Weird War
Hawk,
Tales.
Weird War Tales. Like I said, a couple of issues of Black
Hmm.
Hawk, specific ones that some things were going on in it. Navy, Marine,
Oh yeah, that's
Army,
Charlton Comics
yeah,
fighting Navy,
yeah,
fighting Marines. Yes.
fighting Marines, those ones. The Losers,
Oh yeah, the losers.
mm-hmm. Our Army at War. I think Our Army at War
Uh
is
huh.
is Sergeant Rock, and then the Losers or something like that. It's tied in
Hmm.
there somehow. I can't remember.
You got some of that Nick Fury and his Howling Commandos.
Yeah, a couple of the Nick Furies, especially the one where it was the origin of the
The
eye
eye
patch.
patch. And
Um,
it was not a cat.
no, it wasn't a
No.
cat. It was shrapnel, and that was really kind of disheartening when they did that, because
Yeah.
in the comic, he's like a war hero. He lost his eye during battle. Shrapnel got in his eye. He lost his eye, so now he wears an eye patch. And then they kind of like downgraded him um in the movies by saying the cat scratched his eyes out. I mean, you go from a war hero to a cat scratch my eye out.
That's Disney for you.
It it
That's
it,
it.
it felt cheap and disrespectful to the
Well,
character.
and as you have pointed out, that as you've gotten more into the comic books, you begin to understand why
Hmm.
it is that people have this die-hard attitude and get upset when they make drastic changes to characters in
Yeah.
these movies and TV shows. And they're like, that's not like the character at all. And people are like, but you just gotta let them have their poetic license. Screw that. It
Yeah.
hurts you. It bothers the hell out of you when you get involved in
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
characters.
You really invest yourself into those characters, and I really feel bad, excuse me, for the creator and the writers, because they created those characters and
Hmm.
they had a picture in their mind, and the artist drew them with a picture in their mind, and then it gets destroyed, you
Yeah, it
know
goes right out the window
yeah,
because they
20, 40, 50, 60 years later. Oh yeah, let's just switch this up. Nobody ever know. They wouldn't care.
yeah, oh, someone will know.
Yeah, someone is going to care.
Pandering to a group that won't even watch your film anyway. It's terrible, but that's what happens. But yeah, she collects a lot of different war
Yeah,
comics.
yeah, I do have I like a fairly decent. I ain't gonna say big because I ain't that big and got a big collection, but I do have a lot of war books because I like the war books. But another movie, was it The Escape with
The Great
The
Escape
Great
with
Escape, Steve McQueen?
Stephen Queen. Yes,
Yeah, was a war movie.
yes, it
That
was.
was a
They're
good one.
escaping from the POW camp.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Unlike Hogan's Heroes, who never escaped because they were there on purpose.
That's the
That,
TV show.
yeah, that's the TV show. Let's make a comedy about a POW camp in World War II Germany. It worked. This show was popular.
Yeah, and I seen a couple while my dad was here, and they would sneak out and do stuff and come
Uh
back.
huh.
Like GI Joe is 60 years old this
Says
year.
Dale. Yeah.
Any 12-inch Joe's coming out this year. 12-inch.
Not that I've heard of outside of like maybe convention exclusives. Because some of the Joe related shows that are coming up, I think they might, because they always kind of do something for Joe Fest,
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes for Joe Lanta, where they make an exclusive figure, and it's usually kind of sort of either Adventure Team themed or or Hall of Fame themed,
Yeah.
something like that. Hugo says they occasionally bought early 70s DC War comics, mainly into superheroes, monsters, and ghost comics. So she does the monster and
In the ghosts.
ghost stuff as well.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too. I mean, I
I
like
like
that kind
the
of stuff.
yeah, I like the horror stuff. I have more war, romance, monster slash horror, I guess,
Hmm.
and true crime than superhero. I do have some superhero, but not like how some people got to have everything. No,
Yeah.
I only get a little bit of superhero, but I like mainly the other stuff.
And in the 70s, like horror and ghostly comics, that was a big resurgence because you hadn't seen that since the Sodi trials in
Yeah,
1954,
yeah,
when they just stopped publishing all of that. And then in the 70s, the publishers were like, you know what, screw this, we're just going to do it again.
yeah. We're gonna do
They
what
have
we
been
want to
doing it
do.
in magazine form anyways, but they just needed to do it in comic book form again. And so that's like the the doorway for a lot of people who can't afford or find often the golden age for counterparts because they just don't exist.
Yeah.
There's very few copies of that's why it's so damn expensive.
Sadly, the MCU was never perfect to me, but man, they really went downhill, only using characters' names. The rest was Hollywood's own drunk. Yeah,
Yeah,
Holly Weird.
Holly Weird.
Yeah, I read some um Marvel Man Thing. I read that, and that's, I guess it had a not, no, I wouldn't say it had a horror bend to it, but I did like Man Thing. I liked his
A
character.
supernatural angle.
Yeah, and that introduced you to some other Marvel characters, like I've said before, introduced me to Spider-Man,
Hmm.
and I realized that he's not like what's
In the
portrayed
films.
in the films.
Yeah.
So then I like that one. And then, the Hulk, um that's not the same Hulk that you see in the modern day movie, not even the same Hulk as you saw in the 70s with David Banner.
Yeah.
So it really opened my eyes up to that, because all I ever knew was what was on TV or in the movies. And then I started reading the comics. I'm like, wow, this ain't the same. It's actually, in the comics it was actually better. The characters were way better. So that really changed my
Yeah.
view of the characters, and
Well, in
kind of
the
don't make you not want to see.
you hope you hope that you'll see the characters brought to life. I
Would
would
you
like to see come out. I don't know. I mean, because
new action figures?
I'm afraid that they'll ruin it.
Well,
They'll disappoint
actually,
you.
me and David had a conversation today, because I buy new figures. David not so much.
Yeah.
But and we talked about it, I think, last week on the live stream, about how the pre-orders just wear you out, because you pre-order this stuff and
Yeah.
it's like a year, 2 years before you even
You
get it.
forget you even ordered it, and I've done that. I
Right.
had an order come in from Sideshow like last year, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" I just like, I ordered this. I didn't
Yeah.
even realize.
Yeah, and then like today I got an order in from Big Bad Toy Store. I ordered some stuff from Super
Hmm.
7, cuz I do collect the Ninja Turtle and the Thundercat. So one of the waves of each came in,
Yeah.
and then when I was putting it in my database, I'm like, "Wait a minute, what wave is this?" Cuz I told myself that I'm going to get waves 1 through 10 of both Ninja Turtles and Thundercats. So I got like wave 1 through 4, and then the wave that came in today of the I think the Ninja Turtles is like wave 8.
Hmm.
So it's like, well, where's the rest? They're still on back order, you know? And it's like,
Thanks.
how long does this stuff come out? It's not coming out in order. It's not coming out at a decent time, and then you just get worn out. You don't even want it anymore. Hey Eric, hi guys. I just moved into our great new house,
Excellent.
and I am working on the basement as my toy statue space. Did your basement have that typical basement odor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moisture. Moisture.
yeah.
Got to kill it.
You got to get that before you put anything in there.
Hmm.
Get those dehumidifiers going.
Yeah.
Depending on the size, like in our basement we have two. um and at first they were working overtime. We
Yeah.
had to empty them out 3-4 times a day. But now that we've been here for a while, the heat is running, the air conditioner is running. That helps eliminate a lot of the moisture,
Yeah.
and it's going to help with the
And it
odor.
kills the odor too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you bought a new house, and it's probably not brand spanking new, but it's been shut up for a while. So you got to air the whole thing out, open up all of the windows and do all that, and wipe it down and sanitize it and do all that.
Raynard says, speaking of horror, have you seen a show called Night
Oh,
Gallery?
yes, we have it. We watched the whole series,
If
twice
not,
already.
yeah, try to catch some episodes. Their favorite is the one called The Doll. Is that the one with the British colonel? And he receives a doll and then sends another one to the guy who sent the doll to him. Is that the
Yeah.
one? And Hugo says he loved Ted, the Man Thing, and the Werewolf by Night one shot.
Yeah.
Groot, he loved in the MCU, but didn't like them being called the Guardians of the Galaxy. Didn't feel like the Guardians to you? So, yeah,
Hey,
Elite
Elite
Action is
Action.
here. Excellent.
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
And
Hey,
Nate.
Nate. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
And who else do we
indeed.
have there?
Fossa fan.
Fossa fan. Fossa is the soccer, I think, isn't it?
I believe
I
so.
think that's
He says, as a kid, he'd buy the GI Joe with the most accessories to maximize the limited money. Just wondering if you did similar. Well, what I used to do was I would get the ones that had the most military look to them. That was always my thing. But they did sell the accessory packs so that
mm-hmm.
you could, and they were usually pretty cheap because nobody wanted them.
Mm.
But yeah, I always liked the ones that had more of a military look or feel to them, as opposed to when they started getting real weird. But I would still want those too, anyways. Like Chuckles. Chuckles doesn't look like he belongs in there at all. He's wearing a Bermuda shirt. He looks like he should be on an episode of Miami Vice. But I'd still get him. And Spike says he knows how frustrating waiting can be. He collects Halloween vintage and new items with the vintage look. I'm lucky when Lowe's or Home Depot or at home stores sell stuff that I like.
Yeah. At first the pre-order wasn't bad because it wasn't that long.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we had the scare in 2020,
Sure.
and that pushed everything back. And he was like, okay, you went with that for a while. Now we're like 4 years removed,
They got
and
comfortable because people tolerated it. They're
yeah,
continuing to do so.
yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah. So I mean, I still got my stuff at Big Bad Toy Store and a couple of things at Entertainment Earth, but I don't think I'm gonna really be getting any more. Like I said, I do want to complete waves 1 through 10 of Ninja Turtle and Thundercats. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I pre-ordered all the way up to wave 10 of Ninja Turtles, and I didn't get wave 10 of Thundercats. And what I'm noticing, um, especially on Big Bad Toy Store, if you wait until it's totally out, it's like almost $100 cheaper for the whole set.
Oh God! Elite Action says they just found out about Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Oh, yeah, it's two
Yeah,
parts.
there's different ones. There's
Yeah,
different ones. That was a brilliant series, and that's the
yeah.
same actor who played the father in a Christmas Story. The
Okay.
father that would cut, oh my stomach, and then and then the kid got in trouble for swearing. He goes, oh, where did you hear that word? And he was like, how am I supposed to tell everybody? How am I supposed to tell mom that dad says that like 12 times a day? But
Hey, what's that, Dale? No, we're not going to any flea
we don't
markets.
have any plans this weekend.
Nope. My plan is to not leave the house.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go by the nursing home to visit my mom, but outside of that,
Yeah, but I mean,
we're not
we
going
don't have
anywhere.
anything scheduled until June 1st.
Hey, Nomski.
Nomski's here as well as Robert.
Hey, Robert. How are you? Yeah, we're doing a live stream. Probably do another one because it's a long weekend.
Yeah, we might
And
do another one.
you're
So
not
keep an eye out.
Yeah, we're not so pressed for time and wanting to go to bed so we can get up to go to work and all of that. So thought it'd be fun.
Fossa says you called it a couple of years ago. They couldn't keep up with the modern Motu lines too much. Yeah, and still,
Yeah,
they
and I
still
mean,
pounding those out. It's crazy.
yeah, and it's just ridiculous. And it's like, okay, before you put out anything else, how about catch up with what you have? Because, like I said, I got today. We got one of them ways. I can't even remember now of the Ninja Turtle and the Thundercats, but it's not in order. So like I said, I think I got like right now in my possession. I got like up to wave 5 of Thundercats,
Yes.
and wave 7 came today. So it's like you didn't send out wave 6. And then the same with Ninja Turtles, they sent out wave 9, but 6, 7, and 8 hasn't come out yet. So it's like once you get all of those out before adding new stuff, putting new stuff out. Yay!
And
Happy
DC
Memorial
is
Day!
here. Yeah,
Mhm.
I look like because of the cuffs. You know, Admiral Kirk. Admiral. You know what's
What's that?
Oh, Andorian.
Andorian.
Star Trek.
Okay.
Do you know why they changed Hulk's name to David for the series? I'm not sure about that. Why they call him David instead of Bruce?
Mm.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. I read something about it once, but I don't remember. But also with the Motus,
Hmm.
it's like they're drawing straws because they got them crossing over with Ninja Turtles, crossing over with wrestlers. They got
Yeah.
them crossing over with Stranger Things.
Do
And
they?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't see
there's a
that.
Stranger Things version, and it's like,
Mm.
come on, and it's the same figures over and over again, and they just re-accessorize it. It's like, come on, people, you
Yeah.
know?
Ray feels the same about the
Yeah,
G.I. Joe Classified series, need more time and space between the
yeah,
waves. And now, like with the G.I. Joe, you remember when they first came out, it was nearly
to
impossible to
find.
find them in the store. Now they're at Ollie's. You can find them everywhere. And they're always on clearance.
Yeah,
So that's another thing that's disheartening because, like I was saying, when I got my stuff in today, I was like, oh man, what wave is this? So I went on Big Bad Toy Store to put in the waves so it can show you the whole thing. And then they show you like the other waves. And they're like literally $100 cheaper than when you originally paid for it. And
yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot, and for more reasons than that. That for more reasons than that, not just because of like shipments all being wonky,
yeah.
but then I don't know what's going on with their packaging now either.
Oh yeah, let
And
me show y'all.
she had brought this up
Roundup.
on the roundup earlier that we put up today, because look
So
how this came delivered.
so this is exactly how it came delivered. This is the Thundercats. Who is this? Aluro?
Yeah,
Let
Luro.
me move that. Okay, by the way, hello, my favorite girl. Thank you,
It's our,
Ray. But usually it comes with a sleeve, like this Ninja Turtle has a sleeve, and normally it comes with an outer box.
yeah,
So the outer,
the shipper box with the
yeah,
name printed on it.
it'll say Thundercats Alluro Super 7 on a brown shipper
Yeah,
box, and then the sleeve, and then
and
this.
then or no, then the plastic,
Yeah,
and then the figure in the sleeve is on the inside.
yeah,
But this is how this came shipped, sealed in the plastic with no sleeve and no outer box.
yeah.
And then that's all the Thundercats. And then the Ninja Turtles came like this, but this is how you would normally find it, but in the box,
Mm-hmm.
inside the cardboard box. And we're like, why? That was our question. Does anybody know? Is that something that Big Bad Toy Store did, or is Super Seven cutting corners now?
Yeah, it's like okay, you raise the price, so you're still paying $55,
Mm-hmm.
and you're taking stuff off.
I thought that club shut down.
Oh,
Actually,
but
Dale, I saw the
yeah.
question. Oh yeah, 3-0.
Oh yeah, that was not that, and
Profit Director Distro.
the Cobra Commander was not. If I collected GI Joe, I would
Those look
actually
good.
get those.
Those look good.
Yeah.
No, the voice actor, when people bring him the figure that looks like that, he's like, he don't like to sign that one for some reason. I don't know what it is. DC said there is no new IP to fuel the toy industry, Saturday morning cartoons, so hence the multi line,
Lines.
multi lines of He-Man and Turtle. So I'm so tired of Star Wars Turtle and Motu figures. The toy industry is in shite.
Yeah. Hey
Patrick's
Patrick,
here,
how are you?
and he says, "I wonder how Super Seven is really doing as a company." I don't know, because they got too big. I think because they started off really humble looking, but then it's, I don't know what to say about it now. Oh,
Hey
and
C,
C Reed
read in
here is here.
here.
I don't know what to say about it now. I mean, because they, even the Ultimates you could find in Walmart.
Yeah.
They're hanging
I
on the
was
pegs in
surprised.
Walmart.
I was very surprised when I started seeing them in Walmart. And then
Yeah,
it started with the reaction figures. And I'm like, wow, these are in Walmart and Target and places like that. And then you started seeing the ultimates. And then if you look at them aftermarket, the price goes down. They don't
yeah,
go
they're
up.
not holding out, and so I think people have caught on to that, and they're like, "Nah, I'll just wait."
Okay, the movie dogs
Oh, okay, okay.
have a new video drop at midnight on, so we'll see it tomorrow during daylight hours.
Yeah.
But no, we'll watch it though. And
And
Movie Dogs, let me say, has a YouTube page called The Movie Dogs, but it
yes.
do movie reviews. So if you like watching movie
Hmm.
reviews, go to the Movie Dogs and you can see movie
Yeah.
reviews.
Not reaction videos.
I do not like
That's what I
reaction
want to do.
videos.
And I'll be like down in the corner, like way down here, and you're like this, and you see the movie is up there, and you're like, oh snap, oh for reals, oh did you see what he did? Oh damn,
Hey,
I
23.
and I'll probably get like 1 million views. What do you think?
I'm not gonna be in that video, but go ahead,
Come
see. It might work.
on.
But I hate that because one, how do like because I see it a lot for not movies, sorry, songs.
Oh yeah,
How do I know that's the first time you ever heard that song?
I know. I think they're full of crap. I think
How do
they
I know that?
I think they're making it up.
I mean, because like some songs you do hear, and you're like, oh
Yeah,
man, that's good. Then you got to hear it again 4 or 5 times.
sure.
But it's been a couple of times I've heard a song and I know the song, but then something to happen where I'm actually sitting there and listening to the words, and you're like, oh man, that's what that's saying. And you got to not go out to say rewind it like it's a tape. But you got to
Yeah,
play it back because you're like, man, I never heard that before. And you heard the song 1,000 times. Me too.
yeah,
I initially liked the Thundercats. In hand, though, I wasn't impressed by the articulation for the price. The owner doesn't seem to be in touch and doesn't care about the fans' input. At first, he felt like he did
yeah,
because I used to watch the YouTube videos
yeah. They
and
put
other
out
stuff.
they put out a regular video.
Yeah, and he was going at a nice pace
Hmm.
when they were doing the Masters of the Universe. It was like every couple of months they would put out a new wave, and it didn't take long, and it would come out, a couple of months, and then it had just started speeding up
Yeah,
to where it feels now like it's kind of out of control. I like the new on your site. I
the
like
blue
the blue.
fonts.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We changed it
Just
up a little bit.
experimenting.
Yeah, change it up a little bit, make things a little more interesting, so it won't look so
And DC
bland.
says they have a soft spot for the Peanuts and Haunted
Oh
Mansion reaction
yes.
figures from Super 7. They also made reaction black holes, which go well with the original Migos. And the black hole series, um, that gets weird, especially the second wave is very expensive from the Migo black hole.
Mm.
And Stone Sour, childhood go to cereal for Saturday morning cartoons.
I used to eat Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes.
Ah,
Those are to this day still the two cereals that I really like. Captain, I don't eat cereal a lot, but when I do, I get one of those two. I used to also eat um, Rice Krispies,
uh-huh.
but then I put too much sugar in
Well,
that.
my mother wouldn't buy cereal like that.
Oh,
So
my bad.
my choice was cornflakes with a ton of sugar on it or Rice Krispies with a ton of sugar on it.
Yeah, if and then the reason I
On
stopped. Oh,
the
go ahead. I'm sorry.
on the rare occasion that I did happen to, for by some miracle,
Mm-hmm.
have a regular cereal, I can only remember 3 times.
Uh-huh.
Once there was a box of Lucky Charms.
Ew.
Once there was a box of Blueberry. I've
Mm-hmm.
only ever had one in my childhood, one time.
Mm.
And once there was a box of Freakies.
Mm.
And that was pretty much it. And I didn't even get real Rice Krispies. I got the generic stuff. The no frills. Remember back? Some of you might be old
Yeah,
enough to
that
remember.
bottom
It
shelf
was the
where it
white.
was
It was the
in the
white
bag.
box with the black print on it.
Oh, not even the bag.
No, it was the white box with the black print, and they called it no frills.
I
And it
remember
was
that.
yeah, and it was like the store brand unofficial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You remember the
it's the
cereal in the
same
bag though?
stuff. It's the same thing. It's made in the same factory.
Yeah, sure it
Because
is. Why
yeah,
it
I
don't
know the
taste the
stuff. They
same?
still sell the stuff in the
Yeah, in the
bags.
bag.
Yeah, you get the big economy bag, but if you kind of calculate it, it's really not that much of a savings.
The age of the action figure right now is in a coma.
Yeah,
We need a new Star Wars type of something of that stature when it comes to IPs to kind of knock things back into life.
yeah. Well, we need a break from all of it for a while to let it revitalize itself. And Robert says he likes the reaction Joes mainly because they look like the cartoons. Yeah, they do
Yeah,
look like the
yeah.
Sunbow show, and the artwork is decent.
I like the reaction Sesame Street. I'm gonna
Oh
get
God,
those.
yeah.
But you know what? Now that one, the first wave is actually expensive, especially when you get to those two monsters. You know the they got the two monsters the two
The
aliens,
yips.
the yips.
Hmm.
Those are very expensive. That one in the count.
They've re-released or Bert and Ernie though.
Yeah, so
They might
those are
re-release the other ones too,
I hope
because
so
yeah.
because I didn't realize it when it came out,
Oh
but
no.
I'm gonna get those. I am because it's just it
Yeah, it
hit
does.
that
It
nostalgia
does.
button,
As long
just
as they
like
don't do Elmo.
oh god. Well, I mean, all you got to do is don't get Elmo.
Oh,
He
that's right. Ray says he's about to drop the O-Ring. Joe's toy line says he won't do characters that are already done, which makes no sense to me. New people would want some of the older characters. Yeah,
Who
especially
you
if they
talking
match
about, Brian
O-Ring.
Flynn?
Yes,
Oh,
Super
he
7.
said that.
They did pick up the O-Ring license.
Uh oh. See,
Fruity Pebbles.
I never had. I never liked
It's
anything that
Rice
had the
Krispies
marshmallow.
with food coloring.
No, I
It's not
never liked all
marshmallows.
that. Was the ones that had marshmallow. Now I used to have
Okay.
alphabet, Fruit Loops.
I like alphabets.
I used to like
They're
alphabets,
basically honeycomb.
and you actually didn't
Yeah.
need sugar,
No, you
and the
don't.
Fruit
You don't.
Loops wasn't bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, every so often my mom would buy cereal, like different ones. She
Yes.
always bought regular cornflakes for my brother, but she ate frosted flakes and
Ooh.
Rice Krispies. She loved Rice Krispies. So then,
Yeah.
I got to eat it. And if I went to the store, they would let me buy something and I would get Captain Crunch.
You can't go wrong with the captain.
Yeah, I
No.
remember when my parents would buy plain cornflakes, I dump it.
A load of sugar.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the only way you can digest them when you're like
yeah,
6.
that and
Oh,
Rice
and
Krispies.
Reston is here.
Hey, you got to have like almost a
You got to
whole
drown it.
bag.
And Thomas Sawyer.
Hey, Thomas, what's up with you?
Yeah, glad you could join us this evening.
I used to
Count
love
Chocula.
Count
Yeah.
Chocula.
The
Hold on.
That's okay. And Thomas likes the golden graham. I remember
That
golden
was the
grams.
bear.
Golden grams?
Golden Graham was
No,
the
that's
bear.
Teddy Grams. Teddy Grams is a little cookie.
Who was the bear?
You're thinking of Super Golden Crisp,
Oh,
formerly Sugar Golden Crisp.
so who was the one for Golden Grams?
Um, I don't think Golden Grams had a mascot.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't a kid cereal then if it didn't have a mascot.
Oh, he's got the Dick Tracy getaway car. Oh, from Playmates?
Oh wow.
Is that the one you're talking
You mean the
about?
vintage one? Dick Tracy line is kind of expensive, ain't it?
No, the Dick Tracy line's not that bad. It's just the one figure, the blank. For
Oh,
some
okay.
reason, that one's like $1,000, and the rest of the Dick Tracy figures you could pick up for under $15. And Dorian says, "What's the big deal about the O-rings? Everyone's talking about them." Well, that means that those figures would
Mm-mm.
be identical to the original '80s. Where am I? The original '80s Raw line, because when they did the anniversary figures do not match the Raw era 1/18th scale figures. So, so everybody was like, these figures don't match, and they were pissed off. And then they did bring the O-rings back when Hasbro did the HasLab for the Sky Striker.
Yeah.
Those were O-ring figures, and everybody went nuts. But that's the first time it's been done since they stopped making a Raw figures in the 90s. So that's why everybody's all up in arms about it. And I
Well, he
see.
want to know what's so special about the O-ring. Didn't you say something about a thumb breaking off?
No, that's swivel arm battle grip.
Oh, something.
But just that it would be compatible with the original Ara figures and vehicles and accessories.
Okay.
they'd be perfectly matched. They wouldn't be mismatched, and that way they can integrate them with their existing or loose or raw sets if they wanted to. That's the hits the nostalgic button just right. And Pete Butler says alphabets were the bomb. I want them to bring back Mr. T cereal. Won't happen.
You know what was cool, and I don't think I realized it growing up. This the different cartoons, movies, and TV shows had the cereal in the box, and
Oh, they did everything.
yeah, because I got the Batman one.
That's
Some a
right.
great viewer sent it,
Yeah,
but I actually went to look up cereal boxes because people kept
they
them.
expensive.
Yeah, they are
But I
expensive.
mean, if you think about it, even Bill and Ted the cartoon had
Mm-hmm.
one. And
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters had them with the hologram on the
Yeah,
box, and
Mr. T, like you
yeah,
said.
Pac-Man. The GI Joe had the Stars and Stripes cereal
Man.
with cutouts on the back of little computer panels and stuff like that that you could accessorize your GI Joe like base with, and crazy stuff.
But I mean, those were like times when it seems like sellers were targeting an audience.
Yes.
Now it seems like they just put stuff out, whoever
Oh,
picks it
they're
up.
still targeting an audience. It's us though. They never changed the target.
Yeah, but they ain't
That's
putting
the
out those cereal
they
boxes.
no.
Well, no,
Well,
that's a
that no,
lie. They
they
do.
do
They do during
because
Christmas time and Halloween.
yeah, like
That's
they've
true.
got yeah. Halloween is the only time you see monster cereals anymore.
Yeah,
They're not
yeah,
selling those to kids; they're selling them to us.
yeah,
That's who their target audience
yeah.
is. They or oh, what was it? They come out with all kinds of crazy stuff now because they did
Elf on the
elf on a
shelf.
shelf on Christmas
Yeah, they
for
did.
that cereal. But it's still us. They're still targeting the nostalgia of the adults that they used to target the interests of as children.
And Amazon's wish book is getting better every year. I remember that first year it came out.
It's like, whoa, look at this.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah,
I was like, wow, okay, actual catalog, Christmas catalog, but it was stupid, you know. And then every year it's gotten better, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh wow, they actually trying.
yeah,
You know, they're putting toys in it, and I mean, it's new stuff. But
yeah.
I
It's
mean, what
stuff
else
that we
will
don't
you? But
want,
yeah, but
but
still, just to get it is like it reminds you of when that Sears book came, because it came out when about September, November.
uh
I
huh,
mean September, October time, something like that.
yeah,
And you got that wish book, and you flip through it 100 times and wrote down lists.
yeah, and never got a damn thing.
I don't think I ever got anything out of that wish
Because
book
oh, I used
in
to
my
do.
whole
I didn't used to
life.
get the wish books, but I would get the occasionally the flyer from the Sunday paper. You
Hmm.
get the ad from Caldors or the ad from KB or the ad from wherever,
Hmm.
and you flip to where the toys are in there, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a, oh, circle this page number, and oh yeah, yeah, that'll happen. You go trying to be funny there. Bloody Mary. I don't know anything about no Bloody Mary mix. And Raccoon says they used to look forward to the monster cereals. Last few years, they have no taste. It's like eating soggy cardboard. Really?
Really?
They're not good anymore? We haven't
Wow.
had that stuff in years.
No. I mean, the like I said earlier, the only thing that I will still eat to this day is Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes.
Hmm.
And to me they still taste the same, I guess. Um but
Yeah,
I
that
won't venture off
you
from
can't
those
change.
two.
Those is pretty simple. Like if you ate
Yeah.
alphabets today, it probably wouldn't taste any different.
Yeah.
You know, or Kix. Who remembers Kix
I
cereal?
remember Kix. I never ate that though, but I remember.
Kix is just tricks without any sugar,
Oh yeah.
basically.
I just picked up 19 what
96, the gold Cylon,
ah
the 1/6 scale ones. You've seen
oh
them before.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Battlestar Galactica. And Stone Sour says they have the 92 Royal Rumble in the background. The nostalgia is high with these old wrestling. The old wrestling, there's nothing like it. Oh, by the way,
By
I
the
wonder
way.
if this will show. Let me see. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the kittens checking up on the kittens. Remember? because Mama Cat
Mm.
has not tried to move them. See? Oh, all 5 of them are still doing good. She has
Mm-mm.
not. I can't get near her though,
Mm-mm.
but Mama Cat has not attempted to move the cats. So they're still there, and we're still keeping a close eye on them. And they look really good. They look good. They look good. They look healthy so far. And I mean, look at that face. Come on. Look at that
Okay,
face.
we've seen that now.
No, you can't see enough of
Yeah,
that.
you can. Your eyes full.
No. Oh no.
Who ate Honey Nut Cheerios? I always saw that as like not a kid cereal.
Honey Nut Cheerios?
Yeah,
That's for old people.
yeah, that's old people cereal. They changed the recipe from oats to corn base on the Monster cereal. Oh,
Oh, is that what
trying
it
to get all
is?
nice and healthy. Thank you, Stone Sour.
Oh, thank you, Stone Sour. Hey, we try. We try. We do our best to try to take care of them all.
Man, them cats
See,
just show up.
they're beautiful.
Them cats
They
be
just
just showing up.
they find us.
They
Find
do.
us. Well, they know where they're safe,
They
and we'll
changed
take care
Monster
of them.
cereal from. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what
I
he was
hit that
saying. Yeah.
already.
And then Thomas says, "Do you guys collect Christmas catalogs from 70s and 80s? I picked up the 1978 J.C. Penney. It has Star Wars, Eva Knievel, and Bionic Man. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of actually vintage Toy Fair catalogs, and I've done
The
tours.
Christmas.
I've done like flip through tours on the channel before, and I also have some Christmas ones like Sears.
You've done
And
that
I've done
too.
that before too. I can't do the whole one because it's it's like 1,000 pages or something. But
Well,
I'll
just
flip.
the toy section.
Yeah, I do the toys and the electronics and things that I think I would have looked at if I was like 9. If I
Yeah.
was a kid flipping through, this is where I would stop. I'm not interested in pajamas. I'm not interested in whatever
Yeah.
dishes and bed sheets. But I will stop on anything that looks like it hits that nostalgic button because that's why. And those catalogs can get expensive. The Toy
Yeah.
Fair and the vintage catalogs from the department stores, they can get to be quite expensive.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
And it's
yeah.
always so surprising what you will find because people still have stuff like the old McDonald's containers. When McDonald's used to
Oh, the
put your
styrofoam containers.
yeah,
Yeah.
they used to put your food in a styrofoam container. You can actually buy that stuff on eBay. And you're like, who keeps this
Who
stuff?
buys them? They sell.
I know.
Yeah.
But who went to McDonald's,
Oh,
bought
no.
a pancake and sausage meal,
Yeah.
washed it out, and then said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just sit this over there."
Put this aside for prosperity. And like 30 years later, they can sell it for $80.
Like, who does that?
I don't know.
I never think to do. I mean, I save a lot of stuff, but not that kind of stuff. That I throw away
That's
quick.
that hoard clean out. I would I would I'd like to get some old McDonald's ashtrays.
Yeah, the ashtrays and the coffee cups when
Because
they
I
used to
remember
sell the coffee cups.
I remember when they used to have the ashtrays on the table in McDonald's
Mhm.
and Burger King, and the old style coffee cups when you would drink a cup of coffee there and leave the cup because it was reusable. It was like when you go to any other restaurant, like you go to Waffle House and they got the Waffle House cup. You're not supposed
Yeah.
to take it home.
Yeah, well,
It lands in a lot of people's purses, though, I bet.
I remember used to taking them Pizza Hut cups.
Oh,
You
did
remember the Pizza Hut had
Well, we
the
didn't have a Pizza Hut.
glasses? Yeah, they used
They
to have the
sold
big
glasses.
red glasses.
Oh yeah,
that used to-
the tumblers. The
Yeah,
plastic tumblers.
yeah, they were plastic, like a real hard plastic though.
Yeah. See, that's it. It's a glass mug.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Fire King. It says "Good Morning McDonald's," and that was a cup of coffee back then.
Now, if you don't get
Yeah.
like that big cup from Starbucks, you're not drinking coffee.
Yeah.
That little itty bitty cup is not going to
This is
satisfy
your
nobody
little
today.
sip. I'd be happy.
Hey, Eric, how are you?
Oh,
Hello, you guys. Did you have warm weather today in South Jersey? It's 88. Very warm today.
Yeah, it was
yes.
warm here.
Yeah, it's been hot. So, we getting prepared for that.
Yes,
Who's
indeed.
that?
Oh,
B
and V
Dog.
Dog is here as well.
Hello.
Glad
How
you
are
could make it
you?
today.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on this long Memorial Day weekend.
For all things nostalgia,
Yes, for all things nostalgia, talking about cereal,
breakfast cereals.
cartoons. We were talking about war movies a little bit earlier because it is Memorial Day weekend. And we were saying that a lot of the streaming platforms are going to be showing war
War films.
movies.
Oh,
So,
Gilgamesh is here.
you know. Evening, y'all. Hey, Gilgamesh, how you doing?
And Reston said they heard the McDonald's supersized guy passed away. I have no idea. I have no
Um,
idea. I'll supersize it. Oh, and Art Star is here. He says, I've caught a live for the first time in a long time. We're
yeah,
glad you could make it.
glad you can make it and listen in, join in some lively chat.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been fine. I'm just teasing. But yeah, all things nostalgia. And you know what the funny thing with the breakfast cereal, because it all
Mm-hmm.
ties together. That all it's all encompassing as part of like the pop culture nostalgia that we grew up with. You had your breakfast cereal, you had your
Mm-hmm.
Saturday morning cartoons, um, you had your toys, and these are all things that we grew up with. That like a modern generation, they don't even know anything about it. You know, they it's out of.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. It's out of sight, out of mind for them. And Kay says, I think it's cool that some people keep those things to remember the history of places because just seeing the item can bring back memories.
Yeah,
That's
it
true.
does.
That's true. It really
Because
does.
I remember when I don't know if I was watching something, but I saw the McDonald's styrofoam, and I remember when I worked at McDonald's and
Yeah.
the pancakes and it was pancake sausage and I want to say eggs or something
Hmm.
came in that styrofoam, and I remember,
Oh, the breakfast meal,
yeah, you had the pancake and then you had
the
pancake with
sausage and scrambled
sausage.
eggs.
Yeah, and eggs.
Yeah.
And they came in that styrofoam, and I just, when I saw that for the first time, I remember being in McDonald's, and I'm just like, man, somebody went to McDonald's and kept it, or they found a warehouse and it had a
Yeah,
bunch.
I had a bag full unused or something like that,
Yeah.
which is possible. Eric says they got their 1990s audio cassette player Walkman and their
Ah,
audio cassette tapes, and they still work and play. That solid state technology holds up. It's
yeah.
not like the digital stuff we have now, and it just dies on you. Robert says, what things are on order for you right now besides the Marshall, which is the Brave
Brave
Star
Star
from
from
Ramen?
Ramen Toys.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know if it was Ramen Toys, but somebody they had um a Moses and the high priest set. I know that sounds weird, but it's
That
the
sounds
whole,
familiar.
yeah, it's the whole setup. You get Moses, you get the high priest, you get the Ark of the Covenant, you get all kinds of stuff. You get the the altar and all of
Hmm.
that. I ordered that. Like I said earlier, the Super 7, Thundercats, and Ninja Turtle, I ordered up to wave 10, and they're just giving it out, I guess,
Did We
whenever.
Win do Moses? It's
Hmm?
on the card, right? We Win?
Yeah, but this is the modern day one.
Okay.
The We Win set I have all except for one, a 2-pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So,
We Win, by the way, is it's a Mego like. They're basically Mego figures. They
mhm,
have the same body type, but they were done in like the early '80s, and they're of all religious characters.
yeah.
And she has a collection of them. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yeah, that. So I like, the religious stuff. So I buy a lot of that. Like he said, the We Win, the Bible Greats, and then they got this one called the Galatian Bears, and it's like a knockoff of Care Bears, but each is 9 bears, and they got like the different fruits of the spirit written on their chest or their stomach or whatever. And it's actually hard to find. They're cheap, but it's hard to find all
Yeah,
nine.
well, yeah, and I said, as I've said a million times, rare doesn't always equal valuable. I
Yeah,
mean, I've
it's
got some stuff that you'll never find it, but it's not worth a fortune.
yeah. So that's about it. And like I said, I'm backing off because just the amount of time waiting for pre-orders, it just feels ridiculous. It feels unnecessary. Um and then it doesn't have to be, because again, you got people like McFarlane. He makes the items and then he puts it on the shelf.
It gets on there, even during
The scare.
the incident
Mm-hmm.
that where everybody else is like, oh, well, because of restrictions and plastic expenses and stuff, and we just can't get it out.
Yeah,
He managed to
he
get
got
his stuff
his out.
to the stores on time every time.
Yeah.
No excuses.
And
So,
I guess I understand what they're doing. They make to order,
mhm,
so that I guess they don't make too much, or they don't
yeah,
make, not enough. I don't know. But it just feels ridiculous.
yeah, they take an advantage. And
Spe-
Gilgamesh says that
Mhm.
they're making Dragon Ball Z boxes, Reese's Puffs.
So I have a collection of seven.
Kamehameha.
Hey, first and
Oh,
last.
first and last is here.
Yeah, first in, last out. Brave
Brave
Star.
Star of the Hawk, Ears of the Wolf. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I used
That's
to
right.
like Brave Star. We
Whoa.
watched that. I think you show that on a, yeah, we did
The
that Moses
Moses
set.
might
Yeah.
have. Uh,
Yeah.
DC. Yeah, she has the Jonah and the whale. I don't know
Yeah.
if some of you might not know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And Eric says, what is your plan for Memorial Day? We don't really have one.
We ain't got nothing planned. We might go get something free to eat from somewhere, because everybody on Memorial Day for veterans.
That's not a good idea because that line will be around the block.
That's true.
That's the thing.
That's
This is
true.
what we're talking about here. This is the We Win Heroes of the Kingdom, and that is the
Oh,
Jonah,
hold on. Let me move this out the way, and then we'll
Jonah
get
and the
back to
Whale
you.
set that he was just talking
Okay.
about. There's Jonah. There's your book and tape. Remember
Mm-hmm.
when they used to do that?
Yeah.
And the whale, and it says Jonah actually fits inside the whale, so you can stuff Jonah in his mouth.
Yeah. You can swallow them up.
The Bible, by the way, does not specify what kind of sea creature it is.
No,
It says
but
it's a big fish,
no.
but
Whale.
yeah, whale. It don't look like the one in the picture. But they and Jonah. Let me get the lighting right.
Oh, hold on. Let me move this out the way. Coming back to you, Kay.
Jonah has a file card, just like G.I. Joe.
Everybody has to have
And
a
look
file
at that
card.
dynamic artwork there. He's
That
like,
is good artwork.
he's like, oh snap, a whale. these are fantastic.
They
And
are.
that is Amigo. That is Amigo body.
Mm-hmm.
And they just retooled it. And there's a whole set of these. There's two different companies did religious related action figures like this, and some of them are quite intricate like this set, and some of them are just plain on a card, on a
Yeah.
blister card. And she's a sucker for those. She's got a collection of these.
Yeah.
It's a neat set.
I also understand what you mean, David, when you say rare isn't expensive. I got a very hard to find toy in packet, but for like $10. But it comes up once in like 8 years. Yeah. And things like that happen. It's just some things are just hard to find. What about you, David? Picking up anything?
Nope.
No, David
No,
don't buy like that.
I haven't ordered anything for a long time.
To ROM Space
Oh
Night again.
God.
Have you heard anything about the new ROM figures? But one that actually looks like the Marvel Comics Chrome looking character.
I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, we'll wait and see. I know the people weren't happy with the original ROM, even though it costs a fortune now. But I've mentioned it before when I was doing my thing in the early '90s. There were people that had cases of them at the toy shows, and they would sell you a ROM for under $20 mint in the box. And nowadays, I mean, you can't even find one mint in the box. So But it'd be interesting. All they did was retool the same figure over and over again because it was
Yeah.
a recasting of the Colonial Warrior from Battlestar Galactica, who was a recasting of or a cross casting of the Cylon because they used the same body,
Mm.
and then a recasting of who was it, Captain Laser from Major Matt Mason. It's just recycling bits and pieces to be as cheap as possible. That's what they do. I mean, all
Yeah.
those toy companies did that.
You see, McFarlane got the new Marvel license. He's already shown off Spider-Man and Captain
I didn't
America.
see it. I didn't see it. And Art Star says they saw the Dragon Ball Z Reese's Puffs.
Mm.
I haven't seen that either.
We don't even go down the cereal aisle. It would
Oh,
make me
banana
happy.
splits.
Oh,
They were. They were made by a company called Sutton and Sons in the early 1970s, and they very closely resemble the Dakin figures.
mm-hmm.
I showed those on last week's live stream. I don't know if you saw it. Dakin made those 5 points articulation figures with clothing in the early 70s inside of a cello bag. So Sutton and Sons the did the banana splits figures, and I don't think anyone else has until not Mego, until Funko came out with the pops
Yeah.
of them a few years back.
Who would win? Braves. Bravestar didn't really have a team.
Galaxy Rangers.
I don't know the Galaxy
Well, I mean,
Rangers.
he could scrounge some people up. He could make a team.
Fuzz
Yeah, Fuzz and
and
30
that
30,
girl,
30 30, and the judge
which I don't know what she was doing.
not being a judge.
No, because she was always running around. Did McFarlane get Marvel license? I do not collect them, but he puts out nice
Yeah.
looking figures. Yeah, that's what
Everybody else has one. He may as well.
Yeah, may as well just capitalize. I want to see SNL characters done by McFarlane.
He'd probably do it
Yeah, but which characters?
because he'll do anybody.
You
He'll
think Larry
do.
Hama
Yeah.
or for John Bale?
I don't know. I don't know who drew that. It says Elite says the whale set's awesome.
Yeah,
It's a cool set.
it is a cool set.
Reston says any idea on what they do with the action figure molds after production would be helpful to recreate older, better figures again. Sometimes they're destroyed or lost, and we know a guy. Actually, we see him at some of the shows. He found some of the molds from the old. I think it was the Marks horses, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Marks like Best of the West horses, and so he's been recasting them, but different, not looking like the original ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric says at the dollar store today they have the army guy in army jeeps, and they look like GI Joe. They look pretty cool looking. Or you mean like Leonard used to do? Leonard Toy Company used to do a really good knockoff of GI Joes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blues Brothers as for SNL figures.
Okay.
Blues Brothers was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. The original concept was.
Hey, Hank.
Oh, Hank is here. The concept came from it, and then they adapted it into a film.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like Leonard figures like this one. Let me see. And that's a neat set too, because they do stuff like this.
Oh, that's
a GI Joe knockoff, but you have like 7 figures and 2 snowmobiles in there. I mean, come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, you get a
I
lot
think
of
it's a
stuff for
snowmobile, isn't it?
$2.
It looks like a snowmobile to me, but it says Star Force on it. But yeah, and they have file cards.
Hey, Trevor.
Yeah, they have file cards, but
you got to have file cards. Now, if you put out a figure and you have no file card, you already went down the line. You went from 1 to 10 to -2.
Oh no!
I'm serious. You kind of got to have that file card.
And Leonard did.
Keep up the good work. Stay safe, and catch you on the next live. Thank you, Kay, for stopping by and checking us out.
And Leonard did like soldiers too, like it looked closer to Joe than those did. But that's a Leonard like Marine. It's compatible. It's the same size and everything.
No, We Win wasn't Mego. We Win was the name of the company.
Yeah, but Mego, they were belly up and Marty was in prison.
Oh.
And so, they sold everything they could, and they sold the rights to the body mold. And so the We Win was made. The Menudo figures were made. It's the same bodies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. David, did you say you're waiting on the Brave Star Marshall figure? Where can I order one of those? Am I
She
too late? Are you
she
worried about
she
any
ordered
potential
it. I
claim?
don't know if it's too late, but it was
I,
ramen
I
toys.
want to say it is. And they
You
also
could
did
go
a
to their website.
30/30. Yeah, go to
Yeah.
Ramen
Yeah.
Toys.
Yeah.
It's not called Brave Star now, so don't type in Brave
Yeah, it's
Star.
the
The
Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah.
And because they make like knockoffs, so they have a lot of different stuff. When you see it, you're gonna recognize it, but they changed the name.
Yeah.
Like they got a General Lee. They got what the Centurions,
And they
right?
call it the General. Yeah, and the
Yeah,
Centurions is something else. I forget what they
yeah.
called it.
And they
And
got 30/30, and they call
they're
them.
trying to do mask,
Yeah,
but
they were
in a
doing.
bigger scale.
Yeah, they were doing
Yeah.
some mass figures. I don't know. I can't remember what they called them. But if you go to the website and you start looking around, you'll see it.
Hank says he played with the Lennar Core all the time. When they quit making Joes, he was only old enough to play with Joes the last 3 years of production. Ooh, that's when they started making the Sergeant Savage line.
Mm.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. To answer your Super 7 question, I saw an interview with Brian Flynn where he said they'd be cutting down on the Packers.
That's it. I'm done.
Mm.
I have to hide now.
I
Oh
ain't even
no.
gonna finish reading that because I knew when you said to answer your question about Super 7, I already knew that was going
Yeah.
where that
He
was
says he
going.
doesn't remember how specific he was on what they were cutting.
Well,
They
I'm gonna
did
tell
too
you what
much
they cut.
because what they did was they cut their customers because they've become accustomed to something.
Yeah.
They've become accustomed to something specific. I get a protective box, and inside that box is a protective sleeve
Leave.
to keep my window box nice and safe.
Yeah.
And that, it makes you feel like they put a lot of effort into it. And if they take all that away, then people are going to feel like they're being cheated. You've been doing this for years. Now you're cheating me. People are going to get upset. Oh,
I guess they say you better
yeah.
be glad you got the little plastic bag. I mean,
Oh my.
but
You
I okay, so because I wanted to know if anybody else did that, or was it
Yeah.
just a mistake that I got? So because I was gonna contact Big Bad Toy Store and be like,
Hey, where's my stuff?
you screwed me over. Where's my boxes? But if that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. It just seemed kind of low blow,
Yeah, it
you
does.
know. Um, I know we in a recession and you got to cut costs where you can. I don't know. I guess whatever.
Hugo
I
says
don't
he'd
know.
love to
There's nothing
see
else though.
Hugo says he'd love to see Big Jim's Wolfpack come back, Mattel 73 to 76. Yeah, you know what though? To do Big Jim the way that it was done with that kind of quality, rubber skin on the arms, the articulation, all the soft goods and accessories, um, man, they would charge a lot,
Yeah,
especially in that scale,
yeah.
in that 9-inch scale. They would charge a fortune for those by today's standards to the point where you wouldn't even want to buy them.
No,
You
I
know,
don't collect sectars.
I used to have sectars. I no longer have
No.
them, but I would again if I could find them reasonably.
And the thing that messes me up, we watch a lot of the old cartoons,
Yeah.
and then you start like, oh man, that'll be a cool toy line, and then you look it up because like right now we're watching what Simeon and the Space Monkeys.
Yes.
That's a goofy
They've got an
show.
action figure line.
They got an
They
action
do.
figure line.
Yep.
And we watch Ecto Squad. They had an action figure line. Jason the Wheel Warrior. They had an action figure line.
Yes.
And watching all of those shows make you want the toy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Still works.
yeah,
That was the plan.
yeah,
Have you seen the? I don't know if you guys have seen those. She's got a great collection of the Playmates XL Squad. They're hard to find, still sealed.
yeah.
They
They're hard,
are.
and if it is sealed, they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Conan the Adventurer isn't bad.
No, that's not bad.
If you ever wanted to collect that, watch the show first. Make sure you like it.
Make sure you like
We
it.
watched it. I liked the show. It was kind of goofy, but you kind of got invested. They had a storyline. It was one continuous story.
Yes.
And I like when things go that way. It's one continuous story and you can kind of follow along, and they develop the characters. So they did that with Conan the Adventurer, and then I ended up getting the toy line for that. So
And it was, and that was one of the recommendations from the 90s toys video that we
yeah.
did
Hmm.
of figures from that era that is still affordable.
Yeah.
The Conan the Adventurer was okay. It was an after school show, and then there was a sequel to it that was a Saturday morning cartoon called Conan and the Young Warriors that blew.
Yeah, I have
So
that saved to
it wasn't
watch.
that great.
I do have it saved to watch though, so we'll watch it and see.
Thomas says they're collecting skeleton
Hey,
warriors.
David got
Skull
that.
Cycle will be here soon. They're going to be part of the Halloween scene. Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The Skull Cycle is the one I need. I've
Yeah.
got the whole rest of the set, including some of the variants, because
He
there are variants with it.
he found all in one sitting at the retro toy swap.
Yeah,
Somebody had
guy
it.
had them all in one
Swamp Thing,
box.
Great Toys. The series was
Yeah,
yeah.
it they only did the 5 episode pilot, and it was pretty bad.
It was awful.
Toys are good though.
Yeah, the toys are
Mhm.
nice, and at the time I got the toys, I was actually reading the comic, and then I saw that they had a cartoon, so I was like, oh, let's check this out. The first episode, it's like they crammed the entire cast in that one episode.
Every toy, every play
Every
set, all of
yes,
it was.
and I had all of the toys before I watched the cartoon, and I'm
Yeah,
like, there's every toy. The voice acting wasn't good, and
no,
somebody had told me that in the comments when I said, I'm gonna try watching it, and they were like, "Don't, it's awful." But I had to see for myself. I don't think we even watch all 5 episodes.
no.
I
We
think we
just hung it
stopped
up.
at number one because it was just real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked up Bionic 6
Oh, those are
the
expensive.
other day because
Yeah.
I randomly thought of them, saw a couple prices, and nope.
Yeah. Some of those they'll surprise you.
Yeah,
Some of those they'll surprise you, which is why we did those videos.
yeah,
Did one for the 70s, one for the 80s, and one for the 90s with just a handful of recommendations of like toy lines that, they won't make you cry if you try to chase them down.
yeah. And it's still some stuff out there, and it's all about what you like and what you want to collect.
Hmm.
So, I like to collect things from a show or a comic book that I've actually watched. Um, you know, so well, a comic book that I've actually read or a show that I've actually watched, so I can kind of know who they are and what they do. That's it. Your
Yeah.
chat banner looks great, almost like the news feed. Yeah, that's what this banner is
Uh
called.
huh.
It's called news because they
Oh,
got like three options for you, and I changed it just so it can look different. And this one is called news.
yeah.
And then we had a ticker at the bottom
The ticker.
to tell people to like, share, subscribe.
We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying to make the experience as pleasant as possible and to look professional and high quality
Yeah.
content and all of this and that there. So the comic is good, cartoon man. The two movies was fine, and the old TV show was okay. The remake was better. I
Remake
like the
show.
20, yeah, talking about the swamp thing. I
Trying
like
to
the
shoehorn Blue Devil into anything.
I
It's
like
like,
the 2019 version. That was the first ever, that was my first introduction to Swamp Thing, was the 2019 show, and I liked it. I thought it was really good. So I wanted, I figured out what all that was. So I started reading the comics
yeah.
and all of that. And then I realized this show had to do with the comic, but the show was good. It had a good storyline, had a lot going on, and I wish they had kept it going because they had a lot of backstories going on.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. I thought it was well acted. The storyline was good. That Abby got on my nerves. She was kind of lame, but I thought it was pretty good. I had the Skeleton Warriors, great sculpts and
Uh
paint.
huh.
A cheap, cool line is Toy Vault's Lord of
Lord of
the
the
Rings,
Rings.
goofy, great sculpts and paint. Okay.
Not the Knickerbocker Lord of the Rings. No, those Knickerbocker Lord of the Rings, you need to take out a bank loan.
Oh yeah, they
They're
expensive.
very hard to find. They didn't make many. They
Oh.
didn't make many, and it was based on the animated movie special from ABC. I think it was ABC
Mm-hmm.
in the early 1970s. And they did Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, and all of that. They did or no, The Hobbit. The Hobbit was first, and voiced by Roddy McDowall. Roddy McDowall did the voice, but and then they did the Lord of the Rings after that, Lord of the
Mm-hmm.
Rings, and then Return of the King, I think. But they made action figures from that, and man, those are expensive now because they
Wow.
just so hard to find.
Mm. Yeah, the guy from 90210 was the Blue Devil. He did a lot of cheesy disaster films because
Yeah.
I like watching cheesy disaster films. And he was the guy from Sharknado, wasn't he?
Well,
I
I
think
don't
so.
remember.
I think he was the one in Sharknado, and he did some other cheesy disaster films. Yeah, but I thought that show was good. I thought they did a really good job, and
Hmm.
I wanted to see, where they were going with that. What's one of your favorite cartoon intro songs? Defenders of the
Oh no.
Defenders of the
Defenders, defenders of the earth, defenders. Come on.
Jason the Real Warrior one was good too.
Yeah, it
Do,
was
now
actually.
you realize when you watch those old cartoons, those theme songs, those people sang those songs. They sang it like that was that was going to be their moment to win that
It
Grammy.
could be. Well,
They
like
sang those songs.
like Hercules,
Oh yeah.
the 1960s Saturday morning Hercules, and the guy. I mean, he
Okay,
saw.
see you
Oh, Elite's got
Elite
to go.
Action.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Good night.
He sounds like he's just gonna fall to his knees and start crying in that song. And but he went on to have a real career. I forget his name, but he had a real singing career out of that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hercules, winner of song and story. He just went on and on. That show was funny though. Harvey cartoons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was kind of
it
doofy.
was, but it was fun though. It
Yeah.
was fun. They did a good job on it.
Yeah, but I like watching the opening intros to the cartoons. But I thought Defenders of the Earth was good and Jace was good. Jace and the Wheel Warriors. That song was good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in Sharknado. Yeah, I thought so.
Stone
X Men
Sour
had it.
says, yeah, X Men had a
I never
rocking
saw
theme,
X
even
Men.
though they had to rip off a Rod Stewart song to do it. Oops.
What song?
I don't remember the name of it, but
Oh,
it's got the same tempo as a Rod Stewart song. I know there was a hullabaloo about it way back in the day. Thomas said, favorite songs between Challenge and Super Friends or Hong Kong Fooey. Oh, number one, Super Guy. Hong Kong Fooey.
I never saw the show
You didn't see the show? Oh my God.
or the Super Friends. I
Yes,
don't
you
know.
did.
Not the Challenge Super Friends.
Challenge of the Super Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same intro song, isn't
Oh,
it?
okay.
Dun, da, da. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Scooby Doo.
Oh, is it?
Scooby
I never
Scooby
cared for
Doo.
that
Where are
show.
you?
I never cared for that show. Uh,
That one a stick in your head.
yeah.
Ninja
Oh, the
Turtles.
Ninja Turtle theme song, and I like the beginning of the music from the second season of the original Sunbow GI Joe when but they switch back. They switch out to the traditional GI Joe theme song right in the middle of it, and then it sucks.
Mm.
But
And Batman, the animated series. Well,
yeah,
Batman, but yeah, it had an intro, not a song, but yeah,
yeah,
the intro. Yeah, if you watch the animated series, that is a like a really good intro. It fits.
Oh, DC says Bay City Rollers on Saturday morning, Sid and Marty Krofft hour. Oh, the live action band for that section where the original where they would show the short films that they readapted later on, like
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Shrinker and what was the other one? Uh, Far Out Space Nuts and stuff like that. I remember that. What Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Somebody knows what I'm talking about. You
Not
guys
me.
remember Sid and Marty Krofft? Come
I
on
never
now.
watched Sid and Marty Krofft. So,
Sid,
Marty Krofft, what was he on? So
some of that stuff is
weird.
crazy,
Really?
and all yeah, and they loved midgets. They
Mm.
because they had all kinds of people in costumes, and half of them looked like they were 2 feet tall. Um, but lots of like the Bugaloos and oh god, yeah, what the Bugaloos. You had the oh, I'm drawing a blank now.
Oh, David's drawing a
Yeah,
blank.
HR Puff and stuff, Lidsville. There was a lot of crazy shows, and they all had puppets or the people in full costumes.
Oh, wow.
They even tried to sue McDonald's when they came out with their characters
Hmm.
because they said they too closely resembled some of theirs, like Grimace and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, said you stole our idea.
When I was a teen in the 90s on Saturday cartoons, I watched Pee Wee Playhouse. I used to watch that. I used
Hmm.
to like that.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
its counterpart with the Weird Al show, which was very similar.
Really?
Yeah, he had a
And
Saturday morning live action that was very similar to Pee Wee's
I thought he
Playhouse.
had a cartoon.
No, it was a live action.
No.
And Gilgamesh says, "You want some cool CDs? Look up Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits and Schoolhouse Rock." We have Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah, but you don't have Schoolhouse Rock rocks.
Oh,
A
I don't
various band doing covers
know
for the
if I want to
songs.
hear a cover of Schoolhouse Rock. I think that would kind of kill the magic.
Dr. Shrink, I
Oh,
remember,
Wonderbug.
and
Yeah,
Wonderbug.
Wonderbug. Dr. Shrinker. That was God. Oh, what was that guy's name?
The
Oh, the
talking
talking
flute.
flute. Freddie. Freddie the flute, and the kid would carry it in his shirt pocket. It was a pup. The
But you know how long a flute is?
well, it was only this big, and he had it in his shirt pocket, but it had to be tall because it was also a puppet, and its little mouth would open and close.
Oh my God, that sounds weird. I remember the show with a female hippo and an owl.
That's New Zoo Review. New Zoo Review, and we're coming right at you.
I
New
used to
Zoo
like
Review.
Zoobly Zoo
Yeah, Zoobly Zoo was a later era.
and
New
Lamb
Zoo
Chop.
Review was 70s, and Zoobly Zoo was 80s, as was Lamb Chop. Lamb Chop was pretty good too. And it was Billy Barty. Billy Barty was Dr. Shrinker.
I remember Blue Falcon from the Scooby Doo show. Really, the first superhero that got me into comic
Really?
books. Okay. I never cared for Scooby Doo. I watched it, but I always remember not really liking it. Um, a pup named Scooby Doo I liked, but
Hmm.
not Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
And then when Scrappy got on there, it was just off. Big Jim shouldn't be any more expensive than Barbie is for Mattel. Just
Whoa, no,
change the vehicle from pink to
no, no,
tan.
no, no, no. Here's the catch. Barbie, they still sell to kids, unless it's a collector's edition Barbie. Then they want damn near $100 for it.
Mm.
Okay, and Barbie doesn't have the articulation that Big Jim would,
Oh yeah.
or the accessories. Maybe the clothes, but not the accessories. So yeah, they'll find a way to make that thing cost $150.
What about Commander Mark?
What about
I don't know because I don't know who
him?
Commander
Commander
Mark
Mark.
is.
Commander Mark from what? Or is that the name of it?
Saturday night. I don't know who Commander Mark is. Hey, you guys, what's that from? Hey, you guys,
That's
I
from the
do know.
Electric Company.
Was it?
Hey, you guys! And I think they didn't even start that till the third season. Actually,
You would know that.
yeah, I would. Goldie Gold. She didn't have a toy line. Goldie Gold. Who's
Mm-mm.
Goldie Gold? I'm not sure about that one. Goldie Gold.
Remember the Math Squad?
Math Squad. That was part of 321 Contact
Mm-hmm.
on PBS.
And then they had the Police Squad, but they did math problems. Good job.
Yeah.
They did.
Weird Al guest starred in an episode of that once.
Really?
Yeah.
I
He played a
remember
disc
watching it.
jockey. He was a disc jockey in one episode.
Huh. I don't remember him in it. I remember watching that show and liking it. We used to watch the whole thing. I can't remember if I watched it at home or at school, but
Uh,
we used to. I remember watching it like every
you got
day.
to watch TV in school. We never did that. Never. We never did that.
When you hear "Hey, you guys," I think of Sloth from Goonies.
Oh, okay. Well, I think of the Electric Company.
Commander Mark and Secret City.
Secret City. I don't know if I remember that one.
Oh, you got David
Yeah. I don't
stumped.
know if I remember that one. Commander Mark and Secret City.
David is
Yeah.
stumped.
I mean, I can't remember everything.
Oh yeah,
I just come off like that sometimes because I get on these rips and
yeah.
I know weird stuff that a lot of people haven't thought about in like 40 years or whatever.
Goldie Gold came out same time as
Fang
Fang
Face.
Face.
Fang Face sounds familiar.
That sounds like a Master of the Universe character. Fang Face.
Uh-huh.
It does. I mean, it just sounds like Goldie was a cartoon show back in the 80s. She was a female version of Indiana Jones, but she was rich and could invent almost
Oh,
anything.
that's probably why I don't remember because I wouldn't have watched that.
Oh my gosh. What is your problem? It was a space themed show where Commander Mark would teach kids to
Oh,
space themed teach kids to draw
okay.
all out in space.
So like Captain Bob. Captain Bob used to come on at 5:30 in the morning on ABC, and it was the same thing. It was like he was on a boat,
Hmm.
and he would show like a gallery of pictures that kids sent in, and
Hmm.
then he was like, "Well, today we're going to draw this," that sort of a thing. But yeah, if you were up at 5:30 in the morning, you
Who's
would
gonna be up that early?
obviously I was on Saturday morning waiting for them cartoons to start, and Captain Bob's the only thing on because it's 5:30 a.m.
Why you
and you
up so early waiting? Just
and you
wake up
just
when it's
saw.
time.
Yeah, I did. No alarm or nothing. I knew the
I woke up early too. It seemed like I used to wake up like at 6:30.
yeah, and then when it
Then
was
you,
time to go to school, you got to get tossed out of your bed.
I know you couldn't get up. But yeah, Saturday morning I was up, cereal ready, watching TV. I don't know what I watched before the first show came on.
You watched an Indian on a black and white screen, and the sound that went, and then
No,
you
something was
watched
on.
then you watched Jets, and then you would hear the national anthem, and then Captain Bob would come on. That's what would happen.
I never watched no Captain Bob. When I watched, it went straight to a cartoon,
Oh no.
but it was on PBS. No, it went straight to cartoon. But I don't remember which cartoon. I remember watching the Smurfs. I knew I watched other things, but I don't remember what. What?
DC said with ever action figures from the Mad Monster Party seems so right for the picking who owns that license. I'm not sure who has the license. No figures were never made from that, not officially. I know
Oh.
that somebody made some bootlegs that were pretty decent a couple of years ago.
Mm,
They have a comic book. Dell did a comic for that,
mm.
but not toys or any other sort of things. That was a stop motion photography thing that was done by the same people that did like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Little Drummer Boy and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, but Halloween themed obviously because it was a
Um,
Mad Monster Party. But no, I don't think they ever merchandised that.
Robert used to like Fang Face in his little tight.
Uh-huh.
And who had a better Saturday morning? I know I used to watch NBC seemed like Smurfs came on
Yeah,
NBC
Smurfs was on
and
NBC.
Looney Tunes came on feel like ABC.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I watched anything
And
on
I know
CBS.
that CBS had Fat Albert, and CBS had Tarzan. They did that kind of stuff.
I used to watch Fraggle Rock.
And they had the live action shows like Space Academy and Jason of Star Command
I
and
don't
stuff
know
like
nothing
that.
about
Yeah,
that.
they did that kind of stuff. It's,
Snort. Oh, go ahead.
who was his name? Sid was on Star Jason of Star Command. He played the villain.
Why
He
do you
played the
remember
villain.
these?
I just do. He had a fantastic maniacal laugh. I remember that.
Snorks used to be one of my favorite early Saturday
I
mornings.
think Snorks was a take on Smurfs,
Oh,
but
you think so?
underwater. Yeah,
The national anthem always was kind of scary because everything ended after that. Yeah, at nighttime when TV went off, they played the national anthem. Then it went to
yeah. No broadcast.
or beep, and then
Yeah.
that color screen.
Thomas says you remember Happy Days cartoon. It was
They had a cartoon?
yeah, and so did Laverne and Shirley.
Really?
Yeah, the Laverne and Shirley in the army. Yeah, following their when they enlisted, which tied in with the show because they were in the reserves on the show.
Okay.
So their follies in the army, and but the Happy Days one was weirder because if I remember correctly, it was Richie, Ralph, Fonzie, and a dog on a in a time machine with
Mm,
a woman. The woman had the time machine and she was lost, and they got on the time machine by accident. So
that sound lame.
yeah, it was
I like Space Academy and Jason.
Jason and the Argonauts. That's right. No, Jason of Star Command, not Jason and the Argonauts. That was something else.
I think they were in the same universe,
Nerks
Snorks
and
and
Smorfs
Smurf, sort of like Thundercats and
and Silverhawks.
Silverhawks.
Yeah, Rankin and
Ranking.
Bass did Mad Monster Party. Okay, yeah, that same company.
Play on the Happy Days cartoon. I remember them going back into the time of some spaceship, and I can remember Mork and Mindy.
Uh huh.
I remember Mork and Mindy, but I remember not caring for it.
Mork and Mindy was a spin off of Happy Days too.
Everything was a spin-off of Happy Days. Laverne and Shirley, Mork and
Uh
Mindy,
huh.
Joni and Chachi.
Takes an Angel.
I don't know what
That
that
only
is.
lasted a season.
That's
Um,
four.
there was another one, the old Laverne and Shirley,
I said
obviously.
that.
Okay. There was another one that was a guy who I can't remember the name of it. He was the host of a traveling beauty pageant. He would go city to city and do beauty pageants. And he was in an episode of Happy Days,
Mm-hmm.
and they spun off a show from that. Happy Days itself is a spin-off from a sketch that was done on Love American Style.
Oh wow, okay.
So,
Do you remember Mass? Yes, we saw
oh yeah,
Mass and we saw Cops because you can find a lot
yes,
of those old cartoons on Tubi. Um so Jason of Real Warriors you can also find. It's not on Tubi, it's on another one of those
yeah.
streaming platforms, but a lot of those Saturday morning and after school cartoons you can find on for free on those streaming platforms
Some of
if
them are
you look
pretty
for.
good. Mask was a good show.
Yeah, Mass was good. Cops was
Cops
good.
is funny.
Yeah,
Cops
it
is a
was
good show.
funny.
And Jason the Wheel Warriors
It was
is
really good.
it's well written. It's
Yeah,
deeper than you would expect.
yeah. Especially when he meet his dad, and his
Mhm.
dad could care less. He flying all over the
Oh,
galaxy, the universe, looking for his dad, and his dad's
just
like,
missing him every time.
yeah. And then when he finally catches up with him, oh well, gotta go. It's kind of like King Randor's day.
That's the worst episode of Masters of the Universe. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys remember because we rewatched that not too long ago as well. And there is an episode where Randor discovers his dad is still alive.
Yeah.
And he's being held prisoner in the castle of some witch. So he goes on this mission to go rescue dad. I'm going to get dad out. I'm going.
Yeah.
And he pulls it off. He
Mm-hmm.
rescues dad, brings him home, gets him back to Eternia, gets him to the palace. And then dad's like, yeah, thanks, son. Well, I got to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
go explore the
he's like,
universe.
where are you going? And he was like, well, I've been gone a long time. I can't keep hanging around here all day. I got to take off. He just ditched him. And it's like, you haven't seen him for 20 years. And he's like, yeah, thanks a lot, Randor. You did a good job. I got to split.
Yeah, bye.
It's like, oh no. And you never saw him again on the show.
No, I guess he wanted to go before
Mhm.
before Skeletor saw him, because you know that Skeletor's dad.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Filmation knew that, but they never. Well, I
They
mean, they
never
alluded to it.
they
I think
did
there's
allude.
one episode where Skeletor makes mention of something like, if they find out about Keldor, then I'm finished.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whatever that means, but you wouldn't have known what the hell he's talking about back in 1985.
No, but if you go and you do research about
Mm-hmm.
K-
Keldor.
Keldor and Skeletor, it go in pretty deep. That's
Yeah.
Randor's dad, is Skeletor's father. And then Skeletor was supposed to be the king, and he got overthrown by Randor.
Randor cheated him.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff there. They do a better job in 200X
Yes.
of explaining all of that. So if you want to see it, and then 200X is actually pretty good. You got it right, Dave. That was a wild show. Only episode I liked from the Happy Days Lost in Time was from the Center of the Earth.
And Robert says, did Mork and Mindy have a cartoon? I think they might have. Actually,
Lost Saucer with Jim Neighbors.
Jim Neighbors and Ruth Buzzy. That's right. And whatever the dog thing was, that was groovy. Yeah, and that of course was a Sid Marty Krofft.
I saw Love
Love
America
America.
Style on
That's
YouTube.
classic. And C says, do you think they should do a G.I. Joe and Transformers
No.
Revive? No. In the Sunbow Marvel style.
No.
I don't know. They'd screw it up.
Filmation had the worst theme music. we actually started watching the original Transformers. What, we watched 2-3 episodes so far?
3, yeah.
Those first 3 episodes are not bad.
Back when the Autobots could fly.
Yeah, they weren't bad, the first 3 episodes, because I don't remember the show that well. I remember watching it. I remember the characters, but I don't remember, like, did it have a plot? Was it just on? Because I felt the same way about G.I. Joe. Then we went back and actually watched G.I. Joe, and it did have plots. Because you remember we always say G.I. Joe didn't have plots. They were just shooting at each other. But they did have plots, and
Yeah.
it wasn't bad.
And if it was an extended show, like a 2-parter or a 5-parter, those are the best ones.
Yeah.
There's really good story there, usually.
In the 80s, I had the Road Warrior toys from the cartoon. I got them in Toys R Us in the 80s. That sounds familiar. I remember the Road Warriors was a wrestling tag team too.
That too. Yeah.
I love to see Sunbow come back.
And V-Dog says he remembers an episode of Cops cartoon. Berserko goes into the store with his guys and buys masks, leaves, and goes back into the store with the masks on and tries to rob the store.
Berserko was the funniest.
Yeah, Berserko, and he was always paired up with Rock Crusher. And then like I remember when they had Rock Crusher had the bomb on the roof of the building, and the cop is like, "Come on, Berserko, if you set that thing off here, you'll go too. You can't be that crazy." And he was like, "No, you're right, but Berserko is." And he handed the bomb to Berserko, and he goes to set it off, and he was like, "No, wait, don't do it yet, Berserko." They were hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Or Berserko with Rock Crusher with the girl trying to manipulate him. She was pretending like she liked Rock Crusher to try to trick them, And Berserkle's like, "Come on, Rock Crusher, you're not gonna fall for that, are you?" And he goes, "You better be quiet, Berserkle. You're talking about the woman I love." He's stupid. That
Yeah.
show was funny.
Those shows
Yeah,
are good, and now you got cartoons. They're not animated anymore. Everything is
these
just
computer
CGI,
generation. Yeah,
and the storyline isn't good. The music is really loud. It feels fast paced.
yeah, and they try to inject their socio-political bullshit into it, and it just
Yeah,
ruins it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
you can't
like,
just tell a simple story.
mm-mm, not anymore. It has to have an agenda. It has to tell a lot of different stories and underlining stuff. It can't just be fun to watch.
Yeah,
So,
somebody. Oh, Rad says he remembers the Gummy Bears longest running cartoons. I don't know how long it was on. I don't know. I don't think I watched the Gummy Bears.
mm-mm.
I don't think I watched that, but I remember it being on. And
Mm-hmm.
that falls in line with like some of the other stuff. I think that was an ABC show, wasn't it? And you'd have like so Gummy Bears and Pound Puppies and Wuzzles and stuff like that was on there.
You see the Americathon movie? No, I never heard of that.
Americathon, is that with oh god, what's his name from Three's Company?
95 episodes. The River Ritter,
John Ritter.
John
Is
Ritter.
that with John Ritter? Yeah, and he had to use quarters to work the elevator in the White House because he was president.
Yeah, you said that DuckTale remake was
Yeah,
good. I got to
we've
get
heard that.
I have to get the original one because I liked DuckTales when it was on, you know. And I used to like the Looney Tune kids. Like they had Animaniacs and some other ones like that.
Yeah,
Those were good. Yeah, John Ritter.
I was right.
Hmm.
John Ritter.
Gummy Bears theme is good. I love the Road Rovers
Road
theme too.
Rovers.
So catchy.
Okay.
Hmm.
But, for us, it's late.
Hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up, but we will. When are we going to do another one?
I don't know. We might do one tomorrow.
We
We'll
might do,
see.
we'll see.
Just be on the lookout.
Yep. So,
But if we do it tomorrow, it'll be the regular time
yeah,
at 7.
earlier.
Yeah, we just did it tonight because we like to be out and trying to get more exposure so we can get more people in. So
Yeah.
yeah,
But, again, thanks everybody
golly,
for joining us today. Hope you had a good time. Yeah, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
yeah.
And what?
And I
Were
was
you
reading
trying to
that.
read the thing?
Yeah, yeah. Since we were on the subject of cartoons, why is the majority of animation done over in Asia, like the new X-Men 97? Is it cheaper due to animation in Asia? Seem like in Asia is the only
Everything's
place
cheaper
that they do
because,
animation.
well, it's cheaper because they don't they're not mired by regulations like we are here,
Yeah,
and they don't, everybody's not screaming for more money. But what are you going to do?
yeah.
But anyway, good night, guys, and maybe we'll catch you tomorrow.